are so blessed. That was God calling us into something greater. And that's the topic for Sunday. And thank you so much, Martine, for your beautiful opening and just getting us in the vibration of love and goodness. It's so perfect. And it's a perfect answer, because what is God calling us for? To move into the mystic. That's what we're here for. We're here for a greater expression of life. On page 1, which is actually page 26 of our Science of Mind textbook, Ernest Holmes does talk about the journey of self-discovery, which is an ever upward spiral of awakening, of becoming, of knowing who we are and stepping into something greater. It is leading us home. That journey is leading us home to God, to goodness, and to love. Now, I think it's important. Joseph Campbell talks about the hero's journey. And the hero's journey is a journey of all of us. And he studied cultures around the world. And this is a story for all of us. It's an archetype, a hero's journey, where we leave the familiar, which is that call to do something more. It's that urge in us to do something bigger and better and more. It doesn't have to be bigger out in the world, but bigger in our consciousness and our awareness and our kindness and our love and our goodness and our joy and all of that. But into something more, where we leave that familiar zone, where we're called to forgive, where we're called to love, where we're called for peace and kindness. We're called in to do the scary things, have courage, and we face the unfamiliar and the unknown and the challenges. And it transforms us from the inside out, and we do return back home transformed, more awake, more alive. And I want to tell you what he says about the end of the hero's journey. Joseph Campbell goes on to say, the end of the hero's journey is not the elevation of the hero. The ultimate aim of the quest is not ecstasy for oneself, but the wisdom and the grace and the power to give and to serve others. That's where we wake up to. We wake up to we're more than just ourselves, but we don't. I need to be really clear on this. This journey of awakening starts with us. We have our first awakening to know who we are. Socrates, know thyself. We are that instrument and vehicle. We are a unique expression, and we have to know who we are. It starts for love of ourself. There's not a person here who isn't just as important as the next. We all have a perfect place to play in this unfoldment of life. So we need to know ourselves first. So when we start out by saying, what's in it for me? That's good, because we have to know ourselves and what we need and what we want and who we are first. But God doesn't stop calling us there to wake up to the amazingness of who we are. We have to keep going. And this journey that Joseph Campbell talks about, that Ernest Holmes talks about, that all of the mystics and prophets talk about, is the journey of awakening to me and we. We are in this together. And part of this journey, when God's calling, is to wake us up to knowing, number one, we're not in this alone. We're always guided and supported. But we're also in this together. Now, sometimes it gets very confusing because that call, Spirit's calling us, we don't hear it because the world is too loud. It's too loud. And for too long, we've been given the incorrect story of we are here on our own to do it by ourselves. And for centuries, we've had humanity show up as self-serving power centers. It's all about me. It's in it for me. What can I get? What can I have? And it's become prophets and sages and mystics go, there's more. No, there's more. There's more here. But we get kind of wound up and we get very attached to our prejudices and to being right. And the mystics say, my very favorite quote from my very favorite mystic, Rumi, 13th century Sufi mystic, says, out beyond ideas of wrongdoing and right doing, there is a field and I will meet you there. This field is the field of expanded consciousness, of higher thinking, of higher awareness. We don't leave ourselves behind. We take ourselves there to this field. And he goes on to say, and when the soul lies down in that grass, ideas, language, even the phrase each other doesn't make any sense. Now, we're not there yet, but we're moving there. That's where the journey leads us and guides us to that place. Richard Rohr, the beautiful Franciscan priest, says this is such an important time to return to God, to return to our connection with God, inside that indwelling presence. He said we must work at a higher level, develop a more imaginative, peaceful, God-centered consciousness that shows up as patience, forgiveness, and love. And so you can imagine, here we are starting our journey, and we're asked to do all these things that are going to make us uncomfortable. But once we do, we can never go back. We end up expanded, awakened, and we hear that call of spirit continually, because that call, that energy, life only knows to give. God only knows to give. And God loves every one of its creation. God doesn't even know the word hate. God doesn't hate anything. Love is the energy of that which is always there for us. We must awaken to it and understand. Now, God, I don't know how God has called you, life has called you in this last week, but God speaks in interesting ways. Let me say a few things here. It's urging us to awaken and to embody life's goodness. The number one thing we are here to do is to express life fully, both the pain and the pleasure, to be fully available, fully available. Remember, opportunities to find deeper powers within ourselves come when life is the most challenging. How many of you have grown the most? I've had a lot of challenges, as most of us have, and I've grown most from the pain that has broken me open to allow me to let a higher version of myself emerge. So I know that's true for you. Now, God calls, the thing is, are you listening? We have to become better listeners. God doesn't speak in the language of humans. God speaks in the universal language of feelings, inspiration, intuition, insight, all that. But often, God borrows human beings to speak for it. Speak the language. This week, I had a very important doctor's appointment, and I was on time, and I was ready, and I went to the wrong building. And I get to the parking center, and I get my ticket, which is $4 an hour, and then I park, and then I walk all the way to the building, and I walk in and go, oh, this doesn't look right. Not the place I haven't been before, because I have, but it was the wrong place. And I never remembered a receptionist there, but the receptionist asked me, like in the lobby of this building, who are you here to see? I said, Dr. Thompson. We don't have a Dr. Thompson here. And I went, oh, no, I'm going to be late. And this wonderful man, didn't see him in there before, shows up and says, I know Dr. Thompson. Let me tell you how to get there. Go out here, turn this way, turn that way, turn this way, park here, and go in there. Got it here. I'm like, okay, great. Thank you. And I went to thank him. He wasn't there. But anyway, I got there on time, and I'm thinking, I'm going to be 15 minutes late. I know they want you here on time. She goes, oh, no, your appointment wasn't at 9. It was at 9:15. It was not. They moved it back, but it was good. It was so good. And I got there on time, and it went great, and it was perfect. We just have to be available, because messengers are here all the time. And if you didn't hear this morning, then you need to wake up. Our music. Spirit speaks through music. It surpasses the intellect and goes right to the soul. And sometimes one lyric in a song can be just what you need to hear. Or it can bring you to tears that you didn't even know you had inside of you. And that's music and spirit speaking through the music. So thank you, all our musicians and all of you here. In fact, St. Augustine said, those who sing pray twice. Those who sing pray twice. I don't sing. Oh, well, I guess I'm stuck with once, but anyway. And I know I do this, and I know a lot of other people do. Do you ever pull a book off your shelf? Now, I have a lot of spiritual books. Pull them off the shelf and just say, okay, just give me an answer. Or what do I need to know? And you open your book, and there's the answer you need, right there in the book. It's there because Spirit speaks to us through everything if we let it. We have to learn to practice to be the best listeners we can be. And then, of course, we always have angels. Angels are ever present, the messengers of God, of Spirit. Angels are there. I send angels out to guide my path. I send angels out to do work for me all the time, to prepare the way for myself and others. And they're there, and we need to utilize them and use them all we can. I think the most important way that Spirit speaks to us, life speaks to us, is in the silence. And that's the way that's probably missed the most because of the noisy world we live in. You know, Joseph Campbell, who's another one of my favorite teachers, but I've talked about so much, and I know Martine talked about him this morning too. He says that the world is perfect. It's a mess. It's always been a mess. And we're not going to fix it. But the thing we need to do is fix ourselves by going inward and finding that power and presence inside ourselves. That's what we need to do, to silence our mind and not look for, why is this happening to me? Why is this going on? Why did that person do that to me? Settle in. What am I here to know? What am I here to learn? How can I forgive? How can I love? Get to that point in your life. So we listen to the silence. In the Psalms, it says, deep calls unto deep, which is the way the depth of who we are can connect with the depth of Spirit. And we can know amazing things for guidance, for inspiration, for whatever it is we need in that moment. Deep calls unto deep is the practice of recognizing the presence of God within us. So if we practice all these ways of listening and being available so we can live fully and express life, where is this leading us? Well, I read to you what Joseph Campbell said about the end of the journey. I'd like to share a little bit more. Rabbi Heschel, beautiful Rabbi Heschel, talks about the power of wonder and awe. And if we're listening truly to life, to nature, you know, Meister Eckhart said, every creature is a messenger from God. And if we listen with awe and wonder to life, we'll enter into the mystery. And in that mystery, we open and become available to the moreness of life. We get expressed in a greater way and a greater good. Joseph Campbell also said the purpose of our journey is compassion, which would be what he said. But here's what else he says. What we are really living for is the experience of life, both the pain and the pleasure, all of it. When you have come past the pair of opposites, you have reached compassion. The goal of our life and the gift, our gift to this world, is to join things together. That's why we're here, to bring it together, to share our love and goodness and kindness and forgiveness and understanding, right here, to bring things together. John O'Donohue, another amazing spiritual teacher, said, life calls us to approach life with care. And he says the ability to care is the hallmark of the human, the touchstone of morality, and the ground of holiness. Without the warmth of care, the world becomes a graveyard. Because if we don't listen to that call of Spirit to love, to be kind, for goodness, we stagnate, we dry up, and That's hell. That's not what we're here for. We're here to expand and express. And he said, it is the kindness of care when the divine comes alive within us. And last before our healing wall is Richard Rohr, another Franciscan priest. And in his book, The Tears of Things, he said, the call of God calls us to love one another. We learn to love others by learning and noticing how God loves all creation. When we see how nature works in harmony and balance and peace, and how it's here to give us beauty. And this here, if we're going to be open to loving one another, we have to be vulnerable. We have to release our defenses and open up to Spirit. And those of you at your seats while we're here, just feeling the energy of our healing wall, our healers, and those that are available and ready to do the work, I just invite each of you to consciously take a breath and let go of anything that's weighing on your heart, weighing on your mind, that you might become more available. The message of life, of spirit, of love and goodness that is waiting for each and every one of us in this moment. Just allowing the goodness of God to be the truth of your being and my being and all our beings right here and right now as we join together in knowing that life is good and so are we. Knowing in every moment there's guidance for us in what we do and who we are and what we are becoming. We say thank you to the presence of Spirit in our lives. We thank ourselves for being open. We thank just the beauty of life for giving to us, of nature for showing us the way, how good it is. We let ourselves be open. We let ourselves be available. And as we allow the healing to continue, I'm going to invite, what a cute visual. Yes, get it, you'll be happier. We're going to have a call and response today. And so I think if we stand up, stand in your seat, stand on your two solid feet, feeling the ground beneath you, holding you up, and the light of Spirit opening you to a greater good as we accept this opportunity right here and right now. God is calling us in every moment. I'm going to try that one again. Okay. God is calling us in every moment. God calls us through love, beauty, and truth. When we answer God's call, our lives unfold in new ways. We receive guidance, purpose, and joy. God's call leads us towards wholeness and light. We follow with trust and gladness. As we say yes to Spirit, joy rises within us. God is calling, and we joyfully answer yes. I'm so glad you said yes. I'm so glad you said yes. And now we're going to sing together. Well, we're going to have Gretchen sing for us, but we'll be singing along so we can pray twice, 3 times, 4 times this morning. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And so it is.